Hello and welcome to the Cherry Blossoms Design Challenge. My goal is to create a fun piece of jewelry during this Friday afternoon class with you all. Hello to everyone watching live and those in the replay. Would you throw a hi or an emoji in the comments? I would love to hear from you. Let me know that you have joined. Today, we're going to be playing with the Cherry Blossoms January 2025 Sam's Bead box. We kicked off the year with this beautiful box filled with pinks and whites and crystals and reds and just this very romantic, soft pastel palette. It's perfect as, February, Valentine's Day is coming up soon, and just these florals and color is making me very happy. And so I've given myself a challenge to come up with something. So to be honest, the challenge that I've given myself is that I had to come up with something this afternoon without thinking about it beforehand. So I did spend the last 30, 45 minutes getting started so that I wouldn't feel totally clueless. So the challenge has already started for me, but we'll see if I can complete it within an hour. I hope you will join me on this challenge to, without too much forethought, start making with your box. That's the challenge here today. So let me show you what I've been playing with here. So I'm using beads from our January bead box. Here is a selection of them. There's even more than this, but that can help you really see all the colors. We have so many different florals of the cherry blossoms. This was inspiration and a theme that really spoke to me. I got to go when I was around 13 to the National Cherry Blossoms Festival in DC and just see this entire garden full of them, and they were just blooming and gorgeous. And I got to go with my grandparents. They took me. That was amazing. But I also get to see them here in the East Bay sometimes too, and they don't last long, but when you see them, they're gorgeous. So what I did is I was like, I want to play with wire today. And Danielle actually sent us the heart necklace that she made. So she did this in a class recently in January, maybe in just the last week or two. And I thought it was so fun how she created this, like, you kind of see it on the back, this large heart frame. And then she called them these little flourishes and then added all these embellishments. And I was like, okay, what if we take some of the techniques that we learned from Danielle, but do it in a different shape? And so that's what I have started doing. My idea was I really wanted to create a mosaic kind of painting, sort of like a sculptural mosaic painting using these beads. There's so many interesting beads in this box, and I wanted to be able to use a ton of different sizes and shapes, and I thought this would work well for that. And I want it to be a bracelet, kind of like the start of a cuff. So my idea right now, it's pretty flat, but I'm thinking once I've made more of it, we'll kind of curve it, and it could be kind of this like really big statement bracelet cuff that I'll then just, I'll need to add some sort of, beads or pipe chain or something around the side. But I want it to be something that you notice. I don't know, I wanted to create a mosaic. That's like the best word I can think of for it. So I'm going to actually kind of show you how I got to this point, sort of start to make some of the components of this and show you how I started, and then we'll start adding on to this. So that's my idea. That's what I've come up with for the challenge. I hope you will join me this weekend. Get out your Cherry Blossoms box and see if in, just a couple hours, just in an afternoon, what you can make. So what are you going to need for this? We're going to use two different sizes of wire. We're going to use an 18 gauge and a 24. I decided to use German style for the 18 gauge because it's already a harder temper than a craft wire, so it's sturdier. We're going to hammer it, so you could use artistic wire, more basic craft wire too. And then for the 24 gauge, I went with craft wire because this is much more flexible than a German style, because this one we're having to weave in a bunch, and so that'll be helpful. So just two types of wire, and then I've gathered a bunch of the beads from the box. So some of the ones that intrigued me. I really wanted some large beads in there. So I thought these poppy flowers and the dragonfly would be a lot of fun. We have these cute little hibiscus flowers, the 11-0 seed bead mix, because Danielle used 11-0 in her heart design. And then this, I opened up a few strands here. These cathedral beads, some barrels, the 4mm fire polish, a whole mix. So I've I cut them off the strands, put them in little trays. So it's all really easy for me to work with. And then the first thing I did was make my large oval. So I cut, for mine, I decided to do 7 inches. So of my 18 gauge wire. So I'm going to remake that part because I want you guys to see everything I've done, give you a sense of what I've done so far. So I cut about 7 inches. I'm not going to worry about being exact. And then to form the oval, I have this set of mandrels in a bunch of different sizes. They're all circles, but I thought I could kind of use that to get the effect that I want. I think we're out of stock on these, but you could join the wait list for those mandrels. So let's see. All right, so first I'm going to make this little like P loop here on one side. I'll be using these stepped bail making pliers, and the benefit of this is it'll just help me make consistent loops every time. So I'm going to use the smallest one, but on the thicker side of it, and just, there we go, turn that so I got a little loop there, a P or a Q, however you want to see it, just like that. And then I think I'll go ahead and do the one on, no, I think I'll wait to do the other side. So then I used, let's see, if I lift my camera, that might be easier. Here we go. A little more space to use this mandrel. So I'm going to use this to make like the curve on one side of the oval. And I do want this loop to be on the inside of the oval. So I don't want to go like, I need to think about it as I curve around this. If I go like this will end up being on the outside. So I'm going to turn it in and then turn this around there. And then I need to copy that on the other side. So I'm gonna, and again, I'm trying to think about, all right, I'm gonna curve it forward where the other wire already is. And then do the same thing, bringing it around this mandrel. That way my oval will have at least a little bit of, of some shape guiding it. Okay, that one got a little, I kind of did it a little different on each side, but I don't know if that even really matters. But then I did kind of play with it a little bit. I think I kind of pulled out here, played with it a little more and adjusted it until I was happy. I actually kind of like the idea of it being asymmetrical because the whole design is going to be asymmetrical. So like that kind of makes sense. So this is where I then wanted to get this a little sturdier. So I got out my bench block and a hammer. Well, I say mine, but Shira let me borrow hers. So thank you, Shira. And so I'm just going to mute myself for a moment while I hammer this. So hopefully you won't have to hear the bang. All right, I'm back. Oh, and the bead train's coming through. Perfect timing. So I've got my base form, and then I started making flourishes. So I decided I wanted one really big flourish, this wire going through, because I wanted to be able to fit these larger beads. I started out by making some smaller ones like this, and I realized when I was doing that, I was like, I don't know, it just made it trickier for me to figure out how to, I mean, maybe, I don't know, I guess you could go like that and then fit the bigger, it just felt tricky. It felt easier to incorporate the larger beads if I also made my flourishes really big. So let me show you how I made that one. So for that, I cut 5 inches. This one was only with 3 inches of wire was my first attempt, and that was too small. So then I did 5 inches. So gonna keep using the 18 gauge wire. Cut 5 inches of this. You can tell it's a very rough 5 inches. I'm not being exact. And we're going to continue with this very similar technique when we're making these. So I'm going to keep using the same size one for all my loops. So I'll just make that loop here. And now I need, when I do this next curve, I do have to think about, whenever you're dealing with these loops, you have to think about like which direction they're going, so it turns the right way. So I'm going to use the largest one on the bottom here. And let me see if I turn, yeah. So when I bring this wire around right here, my P loop will be on the outside facing out. That's what my goal is. You could obviously, if you turn it like this, once I turn this around, this loop will be inside of this new loop. So it just depends what you're looking for. But I want to go like this. And then I'm just going to bring it around the largest part of my nail pliers. Look at that. Oh, that already looks so nice. That curve is very nice. So that'll end up getting attached on one side. And now I need to make something for the other side. So I'm going to do, let's see, do I know which way I want to do the loop here? I think I want it, we'll see if that's right. I think I want to turn it towards where that other wire's facing in. And then I want to do a similar thing. This time, actually, I could hold it so the loop is, right up against the pliers. I think I want to bring it down so that there's a little more space between all of that. There we go. Cool. Oh, I love how that ended up. And voila. So I thought it would also help, since this is quite a large bracelet piece, that it would be nice. It'll help. I think it'll bring stability to have this larger flourish connecting it all. So those were the first components I made. And then I started attaching everything. So I just cut a nice long piece of my 24 gauge craft wire. I'm doing everything in silver today, silver plate. I don't know, maybe I'll cut a foot or a foot and a half. You can kind of just, this project just feels very free form, very open-ended. And like, you're going to keep cutting more 24 gauge wire. You can also use 26 gauge, and kind of stopping and starting throughout the piece. So nothing needs to be that exact. So you can kind of, decide how you want to position it, thinking about what's going to come next. So let's see. I know I want to like fit, let's see where the holes is on that. Like, I don't know, something like fit that in there. That leaves room over here for this bigger one. And I'm thinking about how stuff is going to attach. Let me zoom in. So I'm like, okay, there's the hole of this dragonfly comes out there and there. So like I have it so that where the holes are line up with where I can connect the piece to. And same over here. I think it's helpful to lay it out with your biggest beads first, because those are the ones that they need the most space. But then after that, I planned this part as, sort of planned. And then, but after that, I kind of just was adding beads at random, whatever just fit. But I started by making sure that these beads could fit. All right, so to start attaching that, what did I do with that? Did I just cut some wire? Oh, on the floor. Oh, and I could give this a little hammer too, just to make it less likely to. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mute myself. There we go. Now that'll be a little more sturdy. Hold its shape better. Okay, so what did I decide that I liked? Yeah, something like that. So I need to start to attach this. So probably I think the trickiest part is just starting. I want to get it to be roughly around there. So I'm holding those together. I need to hook this around. Start twisting this around. It usually was kind of loose the first time around, but then by the second or the third loop around, I could start to get it a little more secure. But we're going to keep, adding things and attaching things so it starts to get more stable. And try squeezing that down too might help. And then we get it's kind of like we're painting with beads, drawing with beads, painting with beads as we just kind of fill in the space. So I want to start by one of these hibiscus flowers. I think will just sits really nicely in there. So I'm going to just string that on. And if you are looking for a little bit of a simpler bracelet design inspiration, last week during our unboxing video of the Cherry Blossoms box, I made this bracelet. So it's a multi-strand bracelet with these little floral links going around. This one, much simpler. I was able to make this in 20, 30 minutes. So there's some other ideas out there for you. And Shira made a fabulous necklace during that unboxing as well. But I thought I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more today and doing some more complex wire work. All right, so I threaded on my flower and now I just wrap it over here on this side. And then when you're wrapping, one of the big tricks is that like your instinct would be to take the end of the wire and push it through, but that's way more likely going to end up with kinks in your wire. And so you actually want to push near the top of it and then pull it through. And then it's going to be way less likely to kink on you. And so again, I'm kind of pushing up a little bump of the wire and then pulling it through. At this point, I kind of do that without even thinking about it. So I'll go around a few times. And then I want to add on my larger bead. Oops. That first one still moving around a bit, but I think once I add this larger bead, everything should sit a little easier. All right, I've strung that on, and I'm going to do the same thing, just weaving this around. And just remember, I'm not putting the end of the wire through first because that's just going to create so many kinks and bends and your wire might break. So I'm just pushing through the top of it and then pulling through. So I kind of make this sort of bump at the top that I push through and then I grab it. All right, so I'm going to move back to the one I started just because it's a little bit farther along, but I wanted you to see how I started this project. So let me go back here and I'll kind of show you the path that I did. What's the best way to show this to you? Guess I'll just use my pen. Okay, so I started right here, just like on the other one. I added my hibiscus flower, wrapped that around, added my poppy flower, wrapped that around. Then I started adding seed beads right here, wrap around there, added this barrel bead, twist around there, added the pink 4mm, more seed beads, then the another 4mm twist, and every time is, you know, wrap it around a few times, and then a cathedral in a red, and I started to twist around at the top. So this is where my mosaic painting is at the moment. So I've got a lot of, you know, a lot more space to fill in and play around with here. So let's see. I know for sure that I want to get the dragonfly in here because I just love the idea of having the dragonfly with all of the florals. And the thing is, depending how I want the dragonfly to sit, I can, you know, kind of pull on this. I guess I do want this to touch this side here because it will need to link up. Okay, so I know I want that. So that could be what I do next. I could wrap kind of right at the bottom, add a flower, some sort of bead in there, wrap over there, and then kind of fill in other space. I think I'll do that. I think I want to start with the largest components and then add. I mean, another question I should think about is like, am I going to want to add any other flourishes in here? If I do, they would need to be quite a bit smaller. Or let's see, I don't know. Can I fit? That feels like that's a little too much. That might work, actually. Just gives me a little bit more structure to bead on. I think I'd like to try that. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. So so this one I cut off where I was because I felt like I was at a good stopping point. So I'm going to grab my 24 gauge wire. Just cut a nice long piece. I don't know, anywhere from a foot or two. And I think I'm going to start by attaching these two pieces together. This is where I feel like I still need to figure out a better trick for doing this securely. I'm just kind of getting it tight right away. This always feels, you know, quite loose at the beginning. I'm just going to go through this a few times. Not really, yeah, I'm not caring if I like started from the back or started from the front or that. I know recently I taught that wire halo class, and in that one we wanted to be a little more thoughtful about like which direction our wire was coming from. But this time we're just weaving in and out and back and forth. So that doesn't really matter to me. So got that on. So now I want to add something to fill this space. So an obvious answer would be to do another one of the hibiscus flowers, mirror what's on that side. Maybe I put in one of the barrels. I think I like that actually better. So it feels a little bit different. I'm going to string that on. Let me give myself a little more space here. All right, so get that. Wow, that fits perfectly. That wasn't even planned. And when I say like the direction, like right now, as I start to weave this around, my wire's on top, but like I could have started with this wire like being out here. I can just do that. I can have it bring the wire to the bottom first. I don't really see why it would matter. Maybe it's even better to go, right now it's coming out of the top side here. Maybe it'd be nice to be coming down from the bottom side there. And then I'm just going to push that up. Let's get this secure on here. One of my kind of goals today with this project is to show you how you can take the techniques that you learn in any of the different classes that we have here at Fancy Bead Shop or other classes you find, take those techniques and then transform them into your own kind of fresh take on it. You know, use that and build on it. So like what started as, you know, from Danielle Wicks, this gorgeous heart pendant. It's like, okay, I've learned some techniques here. I've learned how to make a frame and then add embellishments to it. Let me do that in totally different colors and a different shape, and give it a fresh look. And with this one, I wanted to use, as my challenge, I want to use as many different types of beads as I can. So I've got that in there. And now I want to add the dragonfly. So let's bring this up. All right. See, I almost kind of looks like I could fit another bead at the top there. So I think I will, because I don't think I just want the exposed wire. So I could either, maybe even just a seed bead or two would work well. So strung that on. Do I like two? Or actually, do I just want one? Yeah, I think just one helps. I definitely think where we've done the hardest part, at least I think so, of like, you know, making our frames and starting to get everything attached. Now, because this is connected at so many different points, I like this whole thing feels a lot more sturdy. And now I'm just adding embellishments, but like the structure is there. So I think that's going to make this a lot easier. But yeah, the goal is for this to become the center of a statement bracelet is my idea. I guess it could also just be a necklace, you know, add some chain on each side. That's true. Oh, because I wanted a bracelet though, I do just need to make sure. My idea was I would just add jump rings on either end. I'm not like making a special loop for it or anything. So I do need to make sure I leave space on both sides for that. So now, how do I want to continue this mosaic? What do I want to add in here? I think I want to have some sort of bead hugging the side there. I think I could go with another barrel. These barrels work really well, I think, because sort of they have that just like slight curve to them. I feel like they just lean up really nicely here. And I don't know, in design work, it's often nice when you can create balance by using odd numbers. So my current thought is like if I have 3 of these, it creates balance by having an odd number, which almost seems, I don't know, seems kind of counterintuitive, but I think that'll work. Oop. A little funky there. All right. And then I'm thinking I can add some seed beads around that to give it a little more flair there. So let's just using my wire to add on some of these 11-0 seed beads. I think what's cool is if any of y'all decide to give this a try, I think your piece is going to look wildly different than mine, completely different. I think that's what's so cool because we're each drawn to different beads in the box, different ideas. All right, this is a little bit tight here. So I'm kind of just going to pull things around so I can get enough space to fit those seed beads there. I guess I do already have wire wrapping here, so I'm going to end up kind of doubling over. And let's see. Whoop. Yeah, I tried to pull it from the end because I was kind of low on space, but that made it so much trickier. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I need to go back to my normal way, which is actually the dragonfly still turns so I can get out of the way. So I can actually push up, do my normal trick for getting the wire through. let's go on over to the other side, because now I think I'm just gonna, the wire will take me in a certain direction and I'll just follow that. So now I'm heading this way. So I guess the question is, I could stop here, I'm realizing, because if I keep going with this wire, I'm gonna have to like wrap a lot of this edge, which I actually don't think I want. So I actually changed my mind. I think I'm just gonna cut this wire and actually go back a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm gonna stop there on that, in that section. But we have some more spaces we can fill. So I should see what I want to do. Do I want to add, that's a little tight, another poppy flower. I definitely want some more of these ones. I think they're really cute. I know I want to add more the cathedral beads. Let's see. Kind of testing it out. All fits in there pretty nicely. Maybe even add another little the 4mm are nice because they're pretty small. Okay, something like that might be cool. So we'll just try something. So where do I want to start? If I start here, I can go up there. Or I could start over here. Yeah, I don't know. Try something. All right, I still got this piece from earlier. Okay, let's try. I want to hook this onto here. Oh, maybe actually if I use the end to go to do the looping for that initial hook. Might even want to use my pliers to grab this. Pinch that together a little more. Cut off some of my excess. Okay. Let's start adding beads. So I think I had one of the cathedral beads. Did I give myself enough of a challenge today, guys? I feel like I have. I've never made this before. Never made anything quite like this. All right, so I'm just going to wrap this around. I need to get enough distance so I have room to add my next bead in there. I need to be more towards where the center of the next bead will end up, since it'll be going through the whole of that bead. Okay, that seems far enough. So I think the 4mm fit in pretty well here. I'm gonna go for the pink. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice little going from the larger to the medium to the smallest bead. Okay, this is definitely gonna be the hardest to wrap because I'm wrapping into a closed loop. So like, because normally I guess I could, can I still push? I don't know. I feel like in this case I have to go to the end of the wire. So it's just way more likely I'm gonna kink. So just as I'm getting closer, I'm just trying to be more careful and see if I can prevent that. All right, going up is easy because I have all this space. But yeah, then I have to use the end here. If anything, it might actually, maybe I just should keep that loop open. That could make it easier. Oh my gosh, so much harder when you have to use that end. Yeah, you can see how my wire is getting way more twisted. More funky. Right, I don't want, how many times do I really need to go through that? I think we're gonna call that enough. All right, let's bring in this white cathedral. And you can obviously make this like your original frame as big or as small as you want. I feel like I went pretty big because that way I could incorporate larger beads. I can incorporate all different ones, but it's pretty flexible. Very flexible, obviously. Go as large or as big as you want with your mosaic of beads. I do feel like I'm getting faster at all these wraps and loops and all that. Okay, so where do I want to end up now is a good question. So like I could add a bead sort of in here. Yeah, maybe try that. Or I could start to bring something straight down. Let's see. I think I want to go just like something small there. What should that be? My thinking was I could, maybe I fit more than one. That's a little too small, actually. Would the hibiscus flower fit there? No, that's too big. Okay, maybe just 2 of these makes sense. It's definitely a crowded area. Okay, it's definitely gonna be crowded, but I'm just gonna try to fit my wire down there, pull it up from the back. So yeah, that's what I just added is those 2 kind of hugging the side there, because then my goal is to be able to add some more kind of that looped around there. Just enough room to get my wire through, using the pliers to help me. Okay. Now I'm thinking we can go down. Maybe I start with the hibiscus flower. Let's see here. It's kind of fun. I guess I'm breaking my sort of how I've done things so far in that there is some exposed wire there. I guess if I didn't want exposed wire, I'd have to add a few seed beads there, but I think I'm okay with that because that exposed wire is kind of hidden by that bead. Where do I want this to end up? Yeah, what have you guys been making with your cherry blossoms box, or if you've picked up some extras, like what kind of projects? Let's see. Caroline says she made a loom bracelet with some of these. Oh, that's great. You posted it on Jewel Looms. I hope you will also post that in Gem Chat. That is our Facebook group for Sam's Bead Shop. We call it Gem Chat, but you can post about gems or check glass or the bead box or whatever you would like. What else have folks been making with their cherry blossoms box? Ooh, there we go. Fun. All right. I'm gonna wrap this around here. Yeah, so far I've made a bracelet. I'm starting this bracelet. I have, here they are. I didn't even realize they were here. I've made these earrings. I made, it's up. Is that up here or is that nearby? Oh, it's still nearby. I also have some partial projects. I started this 2-drop peyote So I've gone in a few different directions. This box has inspired me a lot. It's been getting me making, so I'm always appreciative of that. Sparking the creativity. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you will post a gem chat. Yeah, I love seeing what everyone's making with the box. I know some folks have had a lot of fun playing with like the large hole beads that were in the box, the ceramics. Okay, this is still a pretty large space. Wonder how I want to fill this up. Oh, maybe I'll fill it up with, I could do seed beads and then a bead inside. Yeah, I think I like that idea. So let's, but I don't have that much wire left. Well, we'll hope that that is enough. Definitely getting towards the end here. Oh, wow. Time is flying. I was like, I haven't been live that long. Oh, no, I have been. All right, we'll see. We'll see how far I get in the next 20 minutes. Okay, I'm getting close, though. There's not that much space to fill in. So we'll see if I get to, making the rest of the bracelet. Yeah, and the beads that I'm using today, I think all of these still have extras. I was trying to grab some of the ones that we still had extras of so that you would have that option if you wanted to get any more of these beads, and also just to give you a little more inspiration for them, because maybe they were ones that people were a little more unsure of how to use. All right, so made my little seed bead canopy there. Leave that around. See folks. Oh, we have folks making. You've made a bracelet and an earring today. Sandra made the earrings that I was showing off. Oh, awesome. I love hearing about what you're up to. Just get a sip of water, one moment. All right, much better after some water. My throat is getting a little dry. All right, do I have enough wire to add one more bead in here? Let's see. I kind of feel like the barrel would fit well in there. I guess I'll be going back to having 4 of these, which I won't be having my odd number, but oh wait, I guess let me turn it. To me, this is the right way up. Yeah, that fits really well in there. Okay, I got very short amount of wire, so let's see how I do with this. Maybe I do just want to go in from the end. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think I'll just see, grab it with my pliers. Only have to get it over a few times and then it'll be on there. Oh my gosh, this is becoming a whole little whimsical scene. This is so cool. I definitely didn't know how it all turned out. All right, we're getting close here. These kind of spin around. Kind of fun. All right, so have one more section there to fill in. Oh, this is going to be cool. And now I did have that. Yeah, I don't know if I wanted it or if it even fit. Definitely kind of tight. I think I just want to fill that with beads. So if I start, let's see, if I hook something onto there, I guess when you don't, since I only did one flourish, this one embellishment, it does end up meaning I'm realizing that I have to like make my strands of beads a little bit longer. So that I could see that as being a benefit of maybe having added one more of these things, just so you don't have to make as long of a section of beads. So that way they're a little, I guess everything's a little more stable that way. All right, so I'm just going to try filling up this space and seeing what happens. I definitely want to I feel like I'm going to want more seed beads over here to balance things out. I'm trying to put this on a white background. I feel like it's a little hard to see. Let's try this. Maybe you guys can see that everything a little bit better. So I could do like that as a row, and then maybe a row of seed beads next to it, and then just see what else fits. And then over here, I don't know, something. Well, I guess, do I want to start? I guess actually it might be helpful to, if I start over here, then I can kind of go over. Yeah, I think I should do that. I'd love to do this all in one. All right, let's cut another piece of the 24 gauge. Get this hooked on over here. I want to fill up this little bit of space first. Yeah, definitely is like there's a lot more, a lot more beads. Everything's a lot more closer together. Finding it much more helpful to use the pliers just to kind of get into these small spaces. Okay. All right, so let's figure out what we are adding here. Ooh, maybe another cathedral bead. I feel like I haven't used that many of them. Maybe I'll pull in like the darker red one. String that on. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I feel like this will be a fun piece to wear, in part because there'll just be so much to look at. Just, just stare at my wrist and like see what's going on. All right, so I'm trying to go through a loop again, which always is the hardest. So it's like, can I do my normal technique, or do I have to push it in from the end of the bead? I'm trying, like, can I do my normal technique? Maybe, of pushing it in from this side. Okay, kind of did it. Yeah. I hate having to put the end of the wire in through first because it becomes such a mess so quickly. All right, I think if I can just get it through one more time, I'll feel like it's secure enough before I move on. Trying to see if I can push that in. Not having as much luck this time. Maybe. Do I just have it go around once? I might just have it go around once because that feels like the easiest. Now let's add some more little beads here. Nice, that fits that in well. I really love that I didn't plan this all from the start. Like, I mean, I guess I could have just fully laid out all the beads, but this is like more, I feel like I'm enjoying the process because I didn't really know what was going to happen, and I get to just keep deciding what beads I want to add next. Just enjoying the journey. It's nice that I didn't have like a set pattern at the beginning, I guess is kind of nice. Sometimes I like that, having that sort of clear pattern. Like some ways it's like, oh, okay, that's, I don't have to think as much because I know exactly where I'm going next. But I like that this one was a little more open-ended. And so I just got to keep making just little design decisions. All right, so let's fill up this space. I think just going back and forth. This project is also a good one for probably just using up kind of odds and ends from your box. So if you make some like larger kind of, multi-strand necklaces and a bunch of earrings and bracelets, you're probably going to have a lot of random beads left over in different sizes and shapes. So this could actually be a good like kind of leftover bead project. Move down, and we're gonna see. Did I add too many? I might have. Let's see. Feels like a little bit too many. Let's see. All right, I need to get this to fit in here. There we go. As long as I can get a little bit of it through, I can pull the rest through with my pliers. At least I think I can. There we go. Yeah, when I show I probably make some funny faces as I'm pulling this wire through. Like I'm battling the wire a little bit here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope I've been able to kind of show you some tips and tricks as I'm making it. You can definitely go back and watch the original video that inspired me, the wire work heart pendant. That video is on our channel. So I think between those two, you should be able to get a lot of tips for if you want to do a design that has this kind of feel. All right, let's fill in this space here. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. You guys are very kind. I know I was totally planning bracelet, but I don't know, maybe it'll need to be a necklace. I don't know which is, so what would be more fun to wear. Obviously it's not a bracelet yet. I have to add more to it to make it wearable. But right now my goal is just to fill the space. So I've got that there. And then I'm almost done. I guess it depends if I feel necessary to fill in the space down there. Wow, when I have a lot more room to, to bring the wire through, it goes so much faster. Okay, let's see what I want to add next. I feel like I'm singing as I think. Anyone else do that? Just humming along. Hear my brain working in that way. Like, okay, what am I gonna add next? Which beads? I'd love to add one more. I don't know if it'll fit. I really should have planned more if I wanted to add more of these hibiscus flowers. I think they're just like a little too big. Yeah. But maybe I can fit a cathedral bead. I feel like that's a little smaller. Yeah, that'll a little bit tight, but kind of move things around, fit that in there. Yeah, more interesting than having only the 4mm fire polish in there. Actually, can I fit another one? Maybe. I already have a white one right next to it, so I don't want to do that color. Yeah, I think I might be able to fit that. Another tricky spot to get my wire in through there. Let's see here. This is tricky. Actually, I'm just going to do that trick I did earlier where I just turned the dragonfly, and then it gives me a lot more space to bring my wire up. Take advantage of it being a coin shape. All right, we're almost there. Do I want to add anything else? I do have to remember that I need to be able to add in my jump ring for the bracelet, which I'll definitely have to fit over there. For here, it'll definitely be a little bit tighter to fit. Let's see. I guess I do want to add a little bit more down there. Since I want to kind of go along, instead of like, I'm just going to kind of do some long, I'm going to bring this down, the wire down to where I want it to go a little bit quicker. Just going to do a very long wrap around here instead of anything too neat. I could otherwise, I mean, probably since I'm going to such a different part of the necklace, it would make sense to just cut the wire and start a new piece, but I want to just get this finished. All right. Well, let's see if I can get that. Can work with that kink. All right. How will I finish this off? It's kind of funny. For some reason, I've been holding it for what to me feels like upside down for the entire project. All right. Let's see. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, this would be fun to just kind of hang up around the house, or I don't know if you hang it under your rear view mirror or something. That'd be fun to do. All right, we're coming to the end. My hands are going to be tired after this. I'm going to need a break. They're going to need a break. If anyone tries to use this technique to make earrings, I will be very impressed, because the idea of doing two of these and I don't think they would match. I guess if you could make two that have a similar vibe. I don't know. That's impressive to me. Making just one shape is hard enough. All right. All right, let's cut this off. And I think I will have my centerpiece. All right. Beads have been flying the whole time. It happens. Okay, so right now it's still pretty flat. And I think I'm just gonna like kind of do it. I don't want to break anything, but I just kind of wanted to give it a slight bend so it would kind of curve with my wrist a little bit. Since I do want this to be a bracelet. Oh yeah, that fits much more snugly. I feel like on camera this looks so big, I don't know. I mean, I guess in person it does look big, but I don't know. It doesn't feel that wild to me. I mean, you can compare it to this other bracelet. I guess which way would I turn it? Maybe something like that. All right. So just to kind of wrap up here, I think I'll just kind of describe what I'll do next. So I want to add a couple jump rings on this side and a jump ring on this side as well. It's going to be a little tighter. I didn't give myself quite as much room here. I'll just add some, I really love, let's see, I think just borrowing lots of ideas from Danielle. I love how when she attached each of the chains, she put 2 jump rings, as you can see that. So there's coming off of it onto the chain instead of just one. I think that has a cool look. So I would add 2 jump rings here, and then I'll have to decide, do I just use some chain? Do I use some silver silk? I can make a beaded chain. I'll need to finish this off, and I'll have to get some pictures and post them to Gem Chat next week. So there is the finished design for today. Woo! I gotta take a breath after this one. All right, let me hold it up just so through this camera as well. Maybe that'll help. Let's see, can I get that in focus? Oh, only for like a second. All right, that's not that helpful. Sorry, guys. But here you go. You can kind of see it a little more in perspective. There we go. There is at least the centerpiece of my cuff bracelet. Oh, this was a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me as I just played around with some beads today. This is pretty cool to do. And now I'm realizing this is going to be the best fidget spinner bracelet because I'm going to have this on and I'm just going to want to twist and turn all these little beads and just roll them around. And especially like the ones that are more kind of coin shaped that flip. Oh, as someone who fidgets around, this is perfect. All right, let me see what folks are saying who are joining me live. Well, thank you all. Thank you guys so much for the sweet comments. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. So I hope I have inspired you to keep creating with your Cherry Blossoms bead box. We always love to provide this inspiration for you because we know it can feel a little intimidating sometimes to get your whole box and figure out what do I do with it. So I don't know, between last week and this week, I think we've given you at least 4 different design ideas. Plus, people have been posting so much amazing ideas in Gem Chat with what they've made, so you can get inspiration there. So lots of places to look for inspiration. So thank you all for joining me. Please check out the link in the description if you want to grab any extras from our Cherry Blossoms bead box. We'd also love if you subscribed and joined us as part of the Sam's Bead Box. You can subscribe for $49 a month plus shipping. We include over $80 worth of beads in there. So if you bought everything individually, we don't even sell every single bead in the box. Later on, some of them we're able to get some extras of, but yeah, you're getting an incredible deal. Our best deal at the shop that we put all of these brand new beads by putting them in the box. We give you this amazing discount. And it's a lot of fun. You get to go on this creative journey with us each month as we do the unboxing, tell you the story behind the box, create with it. I think it's the beads, but it's also this really nice community where we're making together. We're seeing what each other are posting in Gem Chat and just get to be creative together, even if we're not in the same city. So thank you all so much for joining me. And we'll see you next week. We have our 2 live sales next week are on Monday and Wednesday. So make sure you've joined our email list so that you get all the details on that. We're adjusting things next week because right after that, we go to Tucson. So that is the plan. So have a good weekend, everyone. Bye now.